It's Ethan Ormes back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video. Today we are going to be talking about Major 2 CDL, of course, or in the CDL, I guess. That was a really terrible way to make an introduction. Nonetheless, we are here for my predictions for Major 2, which I'm very excited for. We've actually got the event this weekend, which is, of course, very, very exciting. Yeah, I mean, we got a lot to get into, so let's do it. It's nice to have Pick'ems back so we can actually make a bracket this time. It really was hard to do so with the Major 1 Pro-Am, so should be much easier now that we have Pick'ems. So matches start in about 4.5 minutes, so I definitely got to get into this. So let's go. We're going to start it off with a New York Subliners advanced into winners round 2, beating the Rocker in a very close series. I wouldn't be surprised if the S&Ds and hard points are split. That'll be very interesting, though. We shall see. And then, yeah, well, we're going to go in order time-wise. So we got Boston versus Atlanta up next. And honestly, both of these teams are just such major question marks. Because sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. They should be great. But honestly, I think I'll give it to Atlanta. Just because I don't know what kind of Boston we're going to get. I would not be surprised in the absolute slightest if Boston made their way into winners round 2 by beating the Atlanta FaZe here, but I just don't have confidence in either of those teams. So with that being said, we'll move on to what is up next. Toronto versus the LA Gorillas, which will be another fun one, which I will give the win to the Toronto Ultra. I do think the Gorillas will get a map, possibly the hard point. We shall see. And then the final match of winners round 1, we've got Texas versus LA Thieves. Yeah, I think I'm going to give that to Texas in 5. But yeah, I guess we actually kind of have to really go. I didn't realize that I actually can't save my predictions. So I got about 3 minutes to do this. But you know what? We might as well continue on with winners round 2 before we move on to... No, you know what? We'll just go in order of what the schedule is going to be like. So to start it off, 2:30, we've got Minnesota versus the Royal Ravens. London, of course. I don't think that'll be too close of a series. I do think Minnesota is the better team there by quite a large margin. But then we've got Boston versus Seattle. I just don't think Seattle is good right now. So, yeah, I'm going to give the edge to Boston. Thieves versus the Mutineers. I will give the edge to the Thieves. I don't think the Mutineers are all that special right now either. And then Gorillas versus Vegas. Honestly, if it was Major 1, probably would have given it to Vegas. But Major 2, I do think it'll be the Gorillas, although I do think it'll be a close and tense series. And then the final match of Friday night will be LAT versus the Minnesota Rocker, which I will give to... I'm going to give it to the Thieves in 5. I would prefer the Rocker to win, but I think I'm going to give it to the Thieves. You know what? No. I'm going to go with the Rocker. All right, so then Saturday, we start off with the losers between the Gorillas and Boston. I will give the edge to Boston in 5 games. You don't want... No, actually, I'm going to give it to the Gorillas. I feel a little more confident with that Gorillas pick, to be honest. But then we go back up to the winners. We've got a minute to go. All right, Toronto, I think, will beat Atlanta in a 5-game series. New York, I think, will beat Texas in a 5-game series. We got to do this fast. Atlanta and Minnesota. I think I'm going to give it to Atlanta here in probably 3-0, I'll say. And then Texas to beat the Gorillas as well in 5, though. And then we've got 4 matches Sunday, of course. So Toronto and New York to start things off. I'm going to give it to Toronto in 4 games. Atlanta and Texas. I think I'll give it to Texas in a 4-game series. And then I don't think New York goes back to back. I think it'll be Texas this time. And Toronto versus Texas in the final. 20 seconds to make my decision. On a best of 7, I think it goes to probably like 6 games, and I'm going to give it to Toronto. I do think Toronto is the better team right now. We will submit predictions with about 0 seconds left to go. Let's just wait to see the clock turn over to 2:30, and yeah, there we go. So, ooh, that was close. All right, but interesting bracket, and I do feel like it is a very likely final that we could get there. That'll be exciting to see. I still think Toronto is the best team in the league right now, so that is why I'm going to stick with my gut in having Toronto win this event. But we shall see. Only time will tell, of course. We've got a ton of interesting matches, of course. Matches will be starting any second now. Of course, we're starting off with New York and Minnesota, so my bracket could get thrown out into the garbage immediately, but you never know. So, yeah, some dark horses for this event, I would say, are Minnesota and probably the Gorillas. I feel like those are the most likely. And honestly, it's dumb to say because it's the Atlanta FaZe, but I think the Atlanta FaZe could honestly be considered a dark horse for this event because, again, I mean, a lot of people hold Atlanta way higher than I do right now because Atlanta just doesn't impress me right now. They really, really don't. I don't think they're that great until they really show life of a decent team or a consistent team. I'm really not sold by them, and they are neither of those things right now. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see what happens with this bracket working out the way it is. Toronto would probably take first place in the standings, while New York would be second, and then I would imagine probably Texas third or fourth, but we'll see what happens. So thank you guys all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy. Let me know your predictions for the weekend, and I will see you guys Monday with more news about the CDL. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.